Grapple Vegas here at Gracie Jiu-jitsu on West Craig, here with co-owner Bryan Glenn. First off, thanks for taking the time out to talk to us, and we already had the interview with you and Rhonda about the gym, so let's talk about yourself. You've been doing martial arts for a long time, about 30 years. You've been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time.
Yeah, I've been doing martial arts since I was 12 years old. Everything you could think I've done, from karate as a kid to Wing Chun Kung Fu to jiu-jitsu to judo to Muay Thai, everything you think of. I'm just a student of martial arts. I love martial arts. Jiu-jitsu, it felt endless, because when you start, it's like, oh my God, everything is there's so much to learn, and then the more you train, you go, oh my God, you're never gonna get good at it. And plus, every few years it changes again. So it was like, so far it's been going on 2000, 2001, where I really, found a school and started training, all that time. Before that is like, hey, there's a seminar. Eric Paulson's going to be coming to Atlanta. Let's drive. There's 2 hours. Hey, there's Pedro Sawyer, first black belt I ever seen. It was amazing. The guy was amazing. And then jiu-jitsu, you kind of fall in love with, just like any martial art, though. You can do that with anything, but it's been a hell of a ride so far.
And you began your jiu-jitsu career down in Georgia.
Yep.
How long were you training there before you moved to Vegas, and why did you move to Vegas?
I moved to Vegas. I hated Georgia. No, I love Georgia. I love my family and everything. I just needed a change. I took a different career choice, and just wanted to move. I've lived my entire life in the South. Great people there, but had friends that was out here, and decided we just want to come out here and give it a try. Never been anywhere else in my life. Never crossed the Mississippi River until 2006, and it was a hell of a day. It was a hell of a drive out here, but I've met the best people I've ever met. My 30 years lived in Georgia. Come out here, I can count more best friends on one, that I never had back home. I got maybe 1 or 2 good friends back home. Out here, I have a ton. It's amazing. People here, they're from everywhere. You're probably from someplace. You're from somewhere else. Everybody's from somewhere else. I'm a Southern guy, but it's pretty. There's good people here. A lot of times we're treated as indifferent, but it's good people in Las Vegas.
I would think that from the time you moved out here till now, there's probably at least twice as many jiu-jitsu gyms out in Vegas than when you first moved here.
Yeah.
When you got here, A, did you know about the scene that was here, and B, did you try all the gyms, or did you gravitate towards one and that was it?
No, what I did was I moved here. I was a blue belt at the time. I got my blue belt from Rodrigo Gracie. We were part of Hoist Gracie Rodrigo. Kind of was a federation. It was kind of a loose affiliation, and they belted all of us at the time, because where I trained, it was only purple belt was the instructor. He ran the classes. I came out here. I went to a tournament. I don't remember. It was I think it was a Grappler's Quest or a Naga, and I just sit down and watched. I watched all the teams. I watched all the coaching, and I was like, oh, okay, everybody's good. And they were definitely, the scene was a better scene at that time, because in Georgia there was only 3 black belts. When I first started training, when I moved out here, I was like, oh man, there's black belts everywhere. It's like, there's a black belt here, a black belt there, a bunch of high level guys. And at that time, jiu-jitsu was, there was a really good scene here in Las Vegas when I moved here. I just went to a tournament and it's like, well, let's see how the coaches react. Do I want to be around this guy every day? Because that's a good indicator of, what you're going to get from a day-to-day perspective. Is the coaches laid back when the guy loses? Is he passionate? Does he console the guy? When he wins, is it, how do they interact? How do they, I'm all about sportsmanship. How do the guys interact? Is he a good sportsman? When he goes out there, oh yeah, he won, but was he a jerk? Yeah. I looked at that and I just, made that kind of call, and it's like, oh, there's a couple places I want to try. And of course, everything about living out here is convenience. What's closest to me? And at the time, Mika had a program running at a school, and his cousin was running the classes. He was the head instructor. I was like, man, this guy's an awesome black belt. Great people on the mat. Just want to get out here and train. I just want to get back on the mat. I was so out of shape because I was going to college full time, and only training a little bit here and there. So it's definitely a different culture out here. So.
And then from there, Mika was your guy.
Mika was a guy. You know why? Because he's a laid back individual. But as much as he's a good instructor, he's a great person, but what he created here, and not that no one else has it, because I believe there is. I've seen great people here. There's great groups here, but the group and the cohesiveness of the group, everybody for the most part are all friends, and I could say that for most gyms, but. There's a great group of people that you're associated with. They all care about each other. They all want to train hard. They all want to, beat each other up. But they generally really care about each other. And I think it's a top-down approach. From the top, you kind of get that. And that's what he did. He created an environment where everybody's just get along well. And I like that, And I think it's the biggest thing, man. There's great jiu-jitsu everywhere, but, do you fit? And the guys I really enjoy. They're a great group of guys, and just enjoy being around them.
Right, so you've gotten your black belt. You have your own gym now over here in West Craig. What are your philosophies in terms of being an instructor or a sensei to all your students?
Philosophies, just solid basics. The kids, we try to do everything training from the ground up, from everything from falling to standing up, takedowns, fundamentals, and for the adults the same thing. Just try to build a solid foundation, and then because everybody's new here, we didn't come into the mix with students. We've been lucky. We have a couple blue belts and a purple belt that signed up, but for most part it's a lot of beginners. But it doesn't really matter. The purple belt gets the same kind of treatment. Basically, the difference is the level of detail that he's going to do versus the white belt. But just try to build a solid foundation, base it around the core values of what the jiu-jitsu should be, which is self-defense first, and then everything else. Build a core of self-defense, make everything reasonable. Like you're not going to do anything fancy, you're not going to twirl. You can do that. I do that myself. I like to go upside down and all that, but that's different. We want to first and foremost, let's stick to the fundamentals, get those right, and then let's play and enjoy ourselves as the journey. Because after a while, let's just enjoy the journey. Let's get creative and see what we can do.
If someone comes in off the street, we'll just say an adult, and he wants to learn jiu-jitsu, and he wants to learn under you, the school, what could he or she expect coming through the door for the first couple days, first couple weeks, and so forth?
Focus on let's get proper body movement, hip escaping, the fundamental things that we need to learn. Whether they're a beginner, whether they're advanced, doesn't matter. If the guy walks in, he's trained before. Let's see what we can do. Is his fundamentals good? And if he doesn't have any training whatsoever, let's start working on doing things correctly. From day one, let's learn to break fall. Let's learn to hip escape. Let's learn how to bridge, turn, everything that we need to do the core things for the art. That's what we're going to focus on. Plus, we're laid back. We cut up, we joke. I don't like to be serious. For a lifetime of martial arts where everything has always been stifling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was so free because everybody's laid back. The instructor's laid back. It's way different, and I enjoy that. And for the kids, it's a big thing for me. I always cut up with them. And for the adults, the same thing. We cut up and we joke, but when it's time to get business, we like to train hard. I like to train hard, and I still like to compete too. So the hopes is build some guys, and it's like she said. I think it's different when you start with someone with no experience and you try to help them come from the bottom up, and you go, well, the mistakes you made is my mistakes too. So if I taught you wrong, I feel very obligated to do my best. Like she says, every day we try to do their best, and we talk to each other constantly about what do you think about the class today? Well, I think we could have done this differently or whatever. So we always interacting. We always talk to each other. I also ask for advice. I talk to Mika. I talk to my friends. Say, hey, what do you guys think? Oh, this is okay. It's okay, but maybe you should do this. And we take that advice and we're trying to grow with it. We're just trying to do a good job.
Right now, obviously, your main focus is your new gym over here. It's been open since August. It's on West Craig. That's your number one focus. That's your goal.
Yep.
Aside from that, though, for the next year or two, roughly, what are your personal goals?
Man, I compete again. I tore my meniscus last year. had surgery, didn't do a whole lot, didn't do much at all after I hurt my knee. I think it like in October or something, and just basically tried everything in the world except surgery. And then of course I needed to have surgery, so I was kind of didn't do much. I did some stuff that I was really happy about. First thing, I got my black belt in February. I competed at the Pan Ams in March that year. I won my first match. I was like, I'm happy. I won my first match at a black belt, and I had Renato Tavares in my division. I had Gustavo Dantas. If you guys know who they are, they're studs. Looked, and he's like, you know, they've been guys who've been black belt for 20 years. I was like, oh shit, you know, it's amazing. I won my first match. The next year, I competed at Masters Worlds. I got third. Soka was second, Gustavo Dantas was first, and I got third. And I can't remember the other guys from Salo. So I medaled. I got third in there. And then I did San Francisco Open, and I won. I won at black belt, first tournament ever at my age group, which I'm still happy to do. I'm 41. But just compete again. And I like competing. I think it's good for everybody. And win or lose, everybody should do it. And everybody should take pride in it too. It's not always about the winning part. It's about getting out there and putting it on the line. So.
All right, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.